to conquer our own self, our ego. Swa Mati Bahar Awa. Those sadhaks whose predominant nature is one of attachment and affection, whose actions are generally dictated by their hearts and emotions, will inevitably be drawn in a biased manner towards the devotees who seem to show affections and attachment for them. Nothing that devotee requests can be too much trouble. Anything can be accomplished for one who shows such affection for such a sadhak. These sadhaks will perceive him to be totally innocent and always act in a manner pleasing to that devotee. He is in fact worshipping his own svabhav, his own nature. Those that do not show affection, do not comply with the sadhak's style, criticize, reprimand or argue with the sadhak will not be tolerated by the sadhak. The sadhak will bear feelings of antagonism and will consider such a devotee to be his enemy. He will console himself by convincing his mind that the devotee is acting without mahatmya and will continue in his own ways, ignoring any criticisms about himself. He becomes agitated and distraught. According to Maharaj, who has stated in Vachnamrit Loya 3, the true devotee is one who is inclined to do anything requested of him by the Pratyaksh Swarup and his devotees, irrespective of whether he likes them or not. No matter what he personally feels about them, nothing they request is too much trouble. Those sadhaks whose predominant nature is intellectual, whose actions are governed by their spiritual knowledge, samjhana, gnan, and intellectual mind, buddhi, will maintain friendship with those devotees who are sincere and loyal to God according to the sadhak's own standards and definition. The sadhak will approve of such devotees, will become fond of them and will sing their praises. On the other hand, they will be inclined to neglect those devotees whose actions and behavior seem inappropriate to them. They will take offense of such devotees, and although they may not say anything, they will bear it in mind. These sadhaks will be unable to serve those devotees with as much mahatmya as they would if they were serving the Lord. They will not be able to serve these devotees as though they were serving an image of Yogiji Maharaj. When those devotees, whose natures differ from the intellectual, sadhak, actually criticize, argue or reveal his shortcomings, the sadhak will undoubtedly make excuses for himself using his own intellect, sincerity and loyalty to convince himself of his own innocence and allow himself to carry on regardless. He will console himself with the fact that the other devotees do not understand and hence disregard them. He too is worshipping his own svabhav. Thus, even if he has attained the status of a Swami Swarup, he is still unable to see the Leela of the Pratyaksh Gunati Swarup, i.e., he is unable to witness and accept the purification of the soul. However, if he were to pray, become neutral and turn to the Pratyaksh Swarup for guidance, then his own crude nature, ego, pride, etc. will be revealed. The Lord always enlightens those who sincerely seek His guidance and pray. The Lord would ensure he reaches the heights of becoming a Vijayijava Sant. Thus, we should continue with our sadhana with zeal until we are able to witness the Leela. Those sadhaks with a predominantly trusting nature will progress in their sadhanas with great speed as long as they seek the guidance of the Pratyaksh Gunati Swarup and their Guru. However, when his Guru begins to touch upon his weak points and reveals his real nature, the sadhak will neglect the Guru and will seek the friendship of those negative influences, kusangis, that appear to support him. Using the intellectual mind and his emotions, he will become entangled in endless comparisons that will only result in confusion and frustration. If he continually seeks the guidance of his Guru, without ever forsaking the Pratyaksh Swarup or the Guru under any circumstances, if he vows to himself, "No matter what happens, I am the slave of my Lord, willing to be sold if he so wishes." If the sadhak lives with such intentions, then the Lord will purify him. He will be able to witness and accept the Leela and will be freed from any form of worldly disturbances. All his confusions and frustrations will evaporate. Whenever he experiences such feelings and emotions, if he believes the Lord to be omniscient and acts according to his wishes, he will achieve salvation. Reach for infinity. Anant ne ambua. I am worth nothing, but my Lord is the most powerful, most supreme, most perfect being in the universe. He is mine and he has chosen me. That is the most important fact. To believe that one is worth nothing, to believe oneself to be insignificant, is not for the purpose of introspecting to such an extent that we begin to feel inferior. Its purpose is not to practice false introspection that makes us unhappy, but to convince our intellectual mind that we really are nothing. Otherwise, even though we are nothing, the intellectual mind is convinced otherwise and continues to interfere in the work of the Lord. Thus, its purpose is to neutralize the intellectual mind and to prevent us from taking false pride in our own intellect, our strength and our virtues, which in reality are insignificant. In comparison to the Lord, I am nothing. Whatever I am, whatever I have, is very limited. One should believe this with conviction. The Lord is the Almighty Savior. According to the first commandment of the Sanjeevani Mantra, He has infinite strength and He has chosen me. Thus, if I need anything, all I need to do is pray to Him humbly. He will take care of me and will guard me from all evils. The joy and bliss experienced when we witness the Lord's almighty power and infinite strength, and when our wishes are fulfilled, cannot be described or expressed. They can only be experienced and enjoyed. Thus the Sadgurus maintain: 1. Believe Him to be the Lord and remain engrossed in Him, neglecting the obstructions put up by our intellect and ability. 2. Accept His almighty power and strength. 3. Then constantly pray to Him. And 4. Do whatever He requests and enjoy whatever He bestows upon you. In this way, continue to witness the Lord at work in your life. One divine experience of the Lord will lead to another, and many more will follow. One who continually neglects the conflict and hostilities presented by one's physical body and mind, and marches on steadily and steadfastly towards one's goal with zeal, has attained the perfect spiritual intellect. The price of redemption, the sacrifice of the ego. Prapti nu mulya, swa nu samarpan. Without completely surrendering one's ego, it is not possible to attain God. In order to achieve total surrender of one's ego, it is necessary to absolutely relinquish one's own wishes, desires, beliefs, preferences, and live according to the wishes of one's Guru. Remain engrossed in the Murti of your Guru and become egoless and selfless. Receive inspiration from the Lord, conceive His real wishes, anuvruti, then act accordingly. Do you wish to become the Lord's instrument? Do you desire that every step you take, every move you make, every word you speak, every thought you conceive is actually inspired by God? Then be pleased when you are faced with the calamities, hardships and distress which have been instigated by the Lord and your Guru to reveal your real vices, i.e. your ego, pride, emotions, feelings, ahambhav and dehbhav, thereby achieving a state of egoless and selfless purity which allows the Lord to work through you in a short space of time. Think positively of all devotees, no matter what they say or do, as they are being utilized by the Lord for your purification. If we fail to accept this, the Lord, through His great compassion, will make us follow this path. Whenever, 50 years hence, we will have to accept this without any doubt. He will grant you the strength to remain bold and brave, and will inspire you to pray for your own purification. Thus, why not seize the opportunity right now and experience the bliss of an ego-less state. Now there is no turning back. Consider yourself lucky that you have found the genuine Guru, which millions of people in the world have spent their entire lives searching for and have failed. You have found the Gunatit Guru. Rejoice in this knowledge. Be bold and brave and march on in your sadhana. All you need to do is maintain Divya Bhav, remain carefree, happy, and do whatever seva you can. Keep your mind engaged in positive thoughts, thoughts of Mahatmya. Nothing else is required for the sadhana. Thus be bold and do not allow your mind to wander blankly into negative thoughts. Do not waste time being pessimistic. Whatever is planned and ordained for us by our Gunatit Swarup should be accepted wholeheartedly with joy. We should accept it as prasad, gift from God, and enjoy it. That is the greatest level of sacrifice, the state of Gunatit consciousness, Gunatit Sthiti. In order to prevent our mind from engaging in negative and pessimistic thoughts, we will have to make a conscious effort to keep it occupied with positive thoughts, with thoughts of Mahatmya and the glory of the Gunatit Swarup. Thus the mind and intellect will relinquish its negative habit, acknowledge our views, and act positively. This is a discipline we must learn and adopt. Straightforward and frank. Saradata. Dear Sadhak friends, be frank and fearless with your Guru. You have been most fortunate in finding the greatest, the most supreme Gunatit Swarup. Thus remain modest, frank and fearless with your Guru. Arrogance and false pride only brings about a notion that we are right and others always wrong, and serves to increase our ego and makes us conceited. Fear leads us to conceal our faults and vices and thus maintain them. This indicates that we would rather avoid purification of the vices than face the fact that they exist. Thus we should remain frank and honest with our Guru. We should be fearless of the mundane world and should not endeavor to conceal anything from our Guru. Remain unpretentious and humble. Pray to the Lord for strength to endure the process of purification. It will be granted immediately. As long as we feel that others do not understand our situation or our predicament, we are a long way from our goal. However, when we genuinely feel that we should understand others' feelings, we should understand God and try to perceive His intentions, God will grace us with His blessings. Then, if God wishes us to serve Him, He will enlighten us and show us the way. Sahajanand Swami Maharaj Ni Jai, Pratyaksh Guru Hari, Param Pujya Pappaji Maharaj Ni Jai.